Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here I ramble with articulation about music and video and all sorts of awesome stuff. And today is my 100th reaction analysis video. Technically analysis, I had a couple of videos that didn't have reaction in them, but that's awesome. I've been doing this just under 15 months at this point in time. And I know, a lot of reactors will chalk up a few videos a week, but for me, doing longer form videos, this is really cool. So, yay, 100 videos. Very, very happy with that. And today I'm going to be reacting to another of the most requested videos on my channel, and that is Johnny Cash's cover of the Nine Inch Nails song, Hurt. This one is going to be really, really interesting to me, I think. Cash is was an extraordinary artist. His music is outstanding, and I'm fascinated to see what he does with this. I'm not the biggest Nine Inch Nails fan, but I certainly know a lot of their work. I have heard Hurt. I think Trent Reznor performing this is extraordinary, and if you were going to get someone to cover it, stylistically I'm curious. But from the perspective of somebody who can put soul into a song, Johnny Cash is a pretty good choice. And I know that Trent Reznor went on to say, that song isn't mine anymore. And speaking as someone who writes mostly prose, a little bit of music, but mostly prose, saying that about a piece of work you have produced is astonishing, especially since this was so successful. Hurt was listed by Kerrang as #2 Nine Inch Nails song of all time. Billboard listed it as #3. This thing is successful. It's one of their best known pieces of music, and Reznor was happy to say, yeah, that's Cash's song now. That's crazy to me. But great, good on him for recognizing that, and that's a really cool thing to be able to do, to be able to say somebody has eclipsed me with my own work. So yeah, that's great. This, incidentally, was listed by American Songwriter as #3 Johnny Cash song of all time. So, he's obviously done pretty well, and I'm excited for what's coming. That's most of the background I know of this. I checked online. It seems like it's one of those things where people are conflicted about what it means. I know Reznor sort of talked briefly at one point in time about, writing something in his flat to get away from a difficult time, and he didn't go into detail in the interview that I read. But, it is what it is, and I think it's also down to interpretation, both by the artist and the listener. So it'll be really interesting to see what's happened here. But I do think he kind of summed up at the end the same interview where he said, and I'll cite it here, the same interview where he said that song isn't mine anymore. He ended the clip I read on Wikipedia at least, by saying it's incredibly flattering as a writer to have your song chosen by someone who's a great writer and a great artist. And I think that's so cool, is to have two generations, to have great writers and great artists recognizing each other's work. Cash by asking to do the cover in the first place, and Reznor by saying, wow, great job, that's yours, almost. So yeah, very excited for that. The other thing I gleaned is that this video is very highly regarded. It was sorry about that. I'm sure you wouldn't mind me sneezing, but I'd have blown out the microphone. It was directed by Mark Romanek, who is a very prolific and very talented director. He's very highly lauded in the various awards. He's got Grammys, he's got, what else? Can't remember off the top of my head, but he's got a bunch of awards. He's done music videos by Madonna, or for Madonna, I should say, Lenny Kravitz, Macy Gray, David Bowie, Taylor Swift, Katie Lang, whole bunch of different people I read on his filmography. He also directed an episode of Tales from the Loop, which I think's really cool. It's an American-made sci-fi series based on a Swedish art book. Highly recommend it. And he also directed and wrote 1 Hour Photo, which, for those of you who remember that was a psychological thriller starring Robin Williams back in the day, which I remember creeped the living daylights out of me at the time. Another great artist, actually, the versatility Robin Williams had in that. But anyway, that's beside the point. Mark is a very, very talented director, and I'm fascinated to see what he's done with this. So, yeah. I think let's move towards diving in. I will say welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way this works, I'm going to watch this straight through from beginning to end. Then I'm going to go back and watch it again, and that time I will pause and interrupt and offer what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on what I've just seen and heard, and the foreknowledge of having seen it once before. I will be commenting and emoting over that first viewing as well. I just won't stop the video that time. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button. There's a notification bell there you can use to decide how often YouTube tells you I'm posting something, usually Friday at 5 PM EST. You could also, if you would care to, head over to donate to support the channel either at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts for a one-off donation, or you can go over to donate on an ongoing basis at patreon.com/DavidKReacts, where there is a single tier of $2 Canadian, which you can use to support me just set that up and let it go. That will give you access to my Discord. There's some cool people in there already, and it will also, you can get sneak peeks. I put up what I'm going to be releasing next as soon as I can. So once YouTube's accepted it, you may know a day or two ahead what's going to be coming next, in case that is the kind of thing that interests you. I do also want to take a moment to say thank you so very much to Starry Night Diner, who recently bought me a bunch of coffees. That was extremely kind of you. Thank you so much. I am very, very grateful for your continued support of this channel. That's about everything I have to say, I think, so without any further delay, let's experience Nine Inch Nails' Hurt by Trent Reznor, as covered by Johnny Cash.
I hurt myself today.
Oh, wow.
To see if I still feel.
His tone.
I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole.
Oh my goodness.
The
this is
familiar
already so powerful.
sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end.
Oh, wow.
And you could have it all.
This is so different from NIN's version.
My empire of dirt. I will let you down. I will make you hurt.
Oh, wow.
You stay the hell away from me, you hear?
I wear this crown of thorns upon my liar's chair, full of broken thoughts.
This combo of video styles is fascinating.
I cannot repair. Beneath the stains of time, the feelings disappear. You are someone else. I am still right here. What have I become? My sweetest friend.
Oh, this is
Everyone I know goes
so impactful.
away in the end. And you could have it all. My empire of dirt.
Oh, it's chilling.
I will let you down. I will make you hurt. If I could start again, a million miles away,
Oh, the repetition of that piano
I
note.
would keep
The intensity.
myself, I would find a way.
Wow. Oh, wow, that's heavy. I have chills from that ending. That is so well composed, both musically and visually. I see why this gets requested as much as it does. That is a little overwhelming. The amount of emotion in that, the amount of raw soul, like I was saying earlier. Sorry, I need a minute. This is an incredible song. The original is an incredible piece of music, and I think Trent Reznor's performance of this is fantastic. But this is such a study of the frailty of humanity. I don't know how old Johnny Cash was here, but little touches, like there was a point where he was pointing straight out and staring down the screen, and there was such intensity in the expression and such focus in the gesture, but his hand was shaking. We'll come back to that when it comes up in the rewatch, but and this yellow wash that Mark chose to put over this is so evocative. There's something, I don't know what it is about that use of that color. It's extraordinary. The shade of yellow, that darker yellow. It's not like it's a sunshine brightness. It's that sort of fading light, which is such an ideal analogy for this song. Wow. I'm impressed. That is extraordinary. I can see why Reznor went, yeah, that's yours now. Very few times, I think, in my life have I heard such a truly unique and individual interpretation of a song where I've felt it is owned by the singer. And I know sometimes the singer is the writer, and sometimes it feels like it's, in that sense. But this is somebody singing somebody else's words and making them his own to the utmost. Wow. Sorry, just needing a minute there. Let's go back and watch this again. Oh, while I was taking a minute, I looked up Cash's age. He was born in 32, which means he was 70 when he was recording this. I think what strikes me so much about this is you can hear 70 years of life. And perhaps even an understanding of its finality in this. He died a year later. This is extraordinary. It really, really is. Wow. This beginning, starting on these these statues, you get the yellow straight away. Even this green leaves here have this yellow pallor over them. I mean, this is extraordinary. This image right here, holding up. Like, I was trying to figure out who this is meant to be. My first thought, based on when I first saw it again, was Jesus, based on the fact that we saw the clip of I can't remember what it was called, the film, the religious film that Johnny Cash made. Then I thought, is this Atlas? Because this is kind of the Atlas pose, isn't it? Holding up the world. And that is such a strong analogy to me, that idea of holding everything on your shoulders, which, you know, I'm approaching 40. I would imagine by the time I've added 30 years onto my life, it will feel a lot like there's a lot more on my shoulders than there is right now. Oof. But yeah, this is extraordinary. I love the simplicity of this over this guitar riff. It's a really, really effective way to start. And the fact that we go to a close-up on the face, then to a different statue, then to the fruit. It's this expression in still life. And even that phrase, still life, as you would view the life of an old man. There's some extraordinary stuff in here.
I hurt myself today.
This is such a powerful shot to me. This is extraordinary. We have this. Where judging, I'm trying to gauge, it's hard to see because his strumming hand is hidden. But you just look at the way the strings are moving. He's just strumming chords here. He's not playing what's there. That in and of itself I thought was interesting and a potent thing. But then you get this.
I hurt myself today.
He's not playing a thing. He's just holding the guitar. Hand in position like he's ready to go, but he's not playing and his hands are shaking slightly. What an extraordinary... Like, this is a masterclass in vulnerability by a performer. This is a powerful, strong, rooted performance by Cash. And he is so vulnerable the whole way through it. This is extraordinary.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel.
The voice is still, like, you can hear he can sing, but it's the tone. You believe every single word he says in this, sings in this. This is, wow.
To see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real.
Oh my, there are so many things to love in this. This is so strong. I love that he's constantly looking off camera. It makes those moments when he chooses to connect directly with you, or was directed to do so, infinitely more powerful.
Only thing that's real.
Even here, his face is head onto camera, but he's looking down, and then down goes the head. Like, it's not... The connection isn't there. The connection is between him and his current state of being, not with him and the audience, and that's very, very strong. I also wanted to comment on this backdrop. I mean, what an amazing setting for this. To have him there, you've got all this yellow. All the color is being highlighted as yellow because of the lighting in this video, and you get yellow and black. And these occasional dots of the red curtain on the left, the green in the plants, just a couple of tiny bits on the right-hand side. Small hints, the brown of the box on the mantelpiece. These small hints that there are other colours, but they're not really there. And then his guitar, the white trim, the black body of the guitar, and then his clothing, this black ornate jacket that he's wearing, with the frills, with the, it's a classic Cash look. But there's something about it in this. It looks both elegant and like it's fading away. This is mind-numbingly good.
The only thing that's real.
And that cut right there on the piano chord. Beautiful. And again, we're not making pretense that he's playing that chord right now. The lid is shut. He's just touching it. He's connecting with his instrument. He's connecting with the music. Which, this is a man who has lived music for his entire life. I've been playing the piano since I was 3. I can't conceive of the amount of time that this man has been playing. And what I can do is I can sympathize and empathize and feel this moment right here. I didn't have an acoustic piano to play. I don't have one now. But for a long time, a while back, I didn't have one to play. And the first time I sat down at one, I did exactly this. I put my hands on the lid and just connected with it. And it sounds ridiculous as a thing to say, but it meant something in the moment. It was that sense of being back with an instrument, and I wanted to give it that moment before I started playing it. And I don't know why I did it. It felt right in the moment, and it felt good. And so I get what's happening here. But also I think there is something in the fact that, once again, we are seeing Cash sitting at the instrument, with it playing in the accompaniment, not by him. Strong stuff.
The only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole. The old familiar sting.
That sting. A little bit of an at the end. And it could be a vocalization, but it's also just the breath at the end of the phrase. That's stunning. This shot, oh my goodness. This is... You know how you get those shots that are just... And I know, the one that's used for the thumbnail for this, of him sort of... You get his face from this sort of an angle, is one of the more iconic shots. But this right here, the plain, sallow yellow color in the background with exactly the right kind of profile. We have this beautiful look. The head is clearly tilted. Even if this was in silhouette, the head is tilted down. There is a submissive look to it. There's nothing superior about this. It's not someone looking down in dominance. I think because the collar is so high up, it's giving this sense of shrunkeness, of kind of the shoulders being a little more up, the person being a little less able. And then just with this beautiful lighting, we can see the eyes closed or almost closed, the contours of the skin, the nose, the texturing that we can just see with this lighting. This shot is astonishing. Rarely do you see something, I think, that is so expressive with so little. And I know, yes, there's films all over the place that have shots that do something like this, but they are still few and far between. If you think of how many films you've seen that don't have something this powerful. This is extraordinary. The stillness in this moment, the emotion that is conveyed through absolutely nothing except this image.
The needle tears a hole. The old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away. But
lovely choice in the vocals there. Try to kill it all away. That gap there. Try to kill it. Such a strong phrase to then leave a gap, because a gap has a tendency to emphasize what's on both sides of it, and it usually seems to emphasize one side a little more than the other. And the all away kind of flows, whereas the kill it is a bit more abrupt, and so that's what gets emphasized. And what a strong phrase to choose to put a break after. That was marvelous. I also love that in these shots where we're seeing, you know, the real world, there's obviously still a bit of a wash over this, a little bit of yellow, I think, but also a little bit of blue in these cases. You can sort of see there's a sort of cold flavor to it. But I love that even like this close to the public sign, a lot of the blacks in this, now I think that's probably a browny color, but the darker colors do have a little bit of color wash over them. This is extremely well put together.
Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything.
I love everything about this, but there's some lovely choices here. The fact that as we go into this key change, we see him open the piano, and presumably, we don't see him start playing, but the implication is when you hit this bomb, that note there, he's starting to play the piano. That's certainly what it's designed to look like. Whether he did or not, who's to say? But that's a very strong moment.
But I remember everything.
Everything. I love that sudden drop down. It's such a great effect, and he does this so beautifully. I also wanted to comment.
But I remember.
This is such an interesting shot, because this is obviously the shot we just had that still from that I was just absolutely gushing about. I love that now we have the framing of the shutters, the blinds, but what we've done here is it's framed including the piano. The framing goes to here. So the lit part of the piano is in the frame that the shutters create, and then just a little bit behind him. So now he's not the sole subject of the shot anymore, where previously he was dead center and that profile was all there was to look at. Now he's framed in shot, and the piano is, in fact, the keyboard is the most center point on this. So to a certain extent, the piano keyboard is the subject, but so is the plainness outside that window. Look at how much negative space is right in front of the eye the moment you see this shot. And what's so lovely is we've got the expanded, wider view of Cash sitting there, and he's lit, and so we can see him clearly. And so, to balance the lighting, we have the glass. These glass items that we see, the three of them over here on the right-hand side of the screen, I've no idea what their representation is or whether they're just a cool piece of set design. But having that light illuminate the glass against the black, the contrast in this video is truly mind-blowing. I'm so impressed with it. Let's go back a fraction.
All away, but I remember everything. What have I become?
A legend, sir. I love that we get this into... So we've had thus far these shots of the Cash estate.
But I remember
and then we get this.
Everything.
Now, I'm not familiar enough to know Cash's films. I know he did a variety of things across the years. But I love that we sort of track through the years. And so we start with this pure black and white old film stock of the train and him as the driver.
What have I become?
And we just have this bow, 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 bow on the piano that is, he is at least, seems to be playing that in the shots that we see of him. And that note in the background here is a cool addition to the harmony. And it doesn't contain the threat that it's going to contain later on when the intensity of that note picks up and picks up. It's extraordinary. And then we get now where folks might need to help me out a little bit here. As I say, I'm not very familiar with Cash's film and TV appearances. I don't know if some of these are sort of home video, for example, him strolling down the beach there, or whether these are all from films that he's done and TV shows that he's done over the years. I know he was in a good half dozen films at least. I'm not sure how many total. But yeah, that distinction is something that's a bit beyond my knowledge.
What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end.
Some of these choices.
Goes away.
Like, we cut to this photograph. Which, I mean, gorgeous photograph. And then notice he's not playing anymore. His hands are just resting on the keyboard. And now we've pulled further out. We see more of the glass. He's more in frame. Now we see underneath the piano. We're pulling away and away. He's fading into the frame in some ways. This is extraordinary.
Goes away in the and you could have it all. My empire of dirt.
This is getting so powerful now because you see things like that shot of him at the concert and things, or the shots, I should say. And now we're getting these extraordinary cuts between him at the peak and prime of his career and then this museum closing down. Two ends of the spectrum. Wow. Talk about seeing a life in a few seconds.
Empire of dirt. I will let you down.
That's a powerful image, isn't it? You see all of this stuff neatly stacked to one side, you know, as they're slowly taking this all down. I think one thing that's quite interesting is we see some little hints here and there of technology, you know, older pieces of technology that are being used, that are being left to fade away. You know, bits and pieces where they're not supposed to be. It gives you that sense of tidying up. And then this is such a powerful image because, you know, you have things broken on both sides of this. You have the shattered glass in front of the record, and then you also have on the other side this broken electrical outlet, and even on the floor this piece of wire. You know, I can't see what that is behind the subtitles. Just a bit of paper or tissue paper or something like that. So much run down in this shot, and then we focus right in on this mixed image. You have this gold record. Johnny Cash at San Quentin, excuse me. This achievement, dusty and derelict behind a piece of shattered glass. The thought and the care and the work that has gone into this video are just melting my brain.
I will make you hurt.
And there I love, we start to get a hint of this intensity as we get the I will make you hurt. And he pulls right back again. The instrumentation, bow, 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 way back. Everything just pulls back. He's almost pushing to that climax, and then he says, no, we're not there yet. We're not going to go that far.
I will make you hurt.
And notice as we go through that, we're pushing back in again. We cut back to this shot where we're much tighter up. We see just a little of the glass on the one side. We see Cash sort of from the waist up. And then for that final point, I will make you hurt. We get that shot again just here, like the head focusing on the mouth. What a powerful image.
You stay the hell away from me, you hear?
I've no idea what that quote is from. I'll make a note here if I can figure it out. This shot is so interesting to me because it would be easy in a video like this to start here and turn the lights off. But instead we're coming into the space. We're coming into his life. We're coming into all of this extraordinary stuff. And what's fascinating to me is if you look on the right-hand side at the back here, gold record after gold record. That is a wall of achievement. But what do we focus on? We come over here to the couple portrait, to the statue, to a belt, to a couple of small items. Wow, this is good.
You stay the hell away from me, you hear?
I wear this crown of thorns upon my liar's chair.
And there we have it, that connection. Upon my liar's chair, all of a sudden he is staring down the camera right at you. And it catches you off guard because we haven't had that yet. Oh, his performance is mind-numbingly good.
Upon my liar's chair, full of broken thoughts.
Even that choice, full of broken thoughts. And on the thoughts, there it is again. If the eyes are the window to the soul, this man's soul is bare on this screen at this point. And we've looked into his eyes directly for about 3 seconds. Extraordinary.
Full of broken thoughts, I cannot repair. Beneath the stains of time,
beneath the stains of time, an extremely powerful lyric anyway.
beneath the stains of time.
And over it, we're going to get this shot right here. And the simplicity of this, again, you see the age, you see the experience, you see the life, and then he just has these couple of blinks, and there's something in that just, as soon as I saw it first time, and now again, it's just tearing at my heart. There's something about that particular evocation of movement. Just those couple of blinks.
Time, the feeling.
I don't know what it is, but it just strikes. It's like a bell has rung in a resonant frequency, and I'm slightly humming along with it. Like my body's resonating with what it's seeing on the screen. It's just the chills and that kind of the connection he is establishing in this video.
Stains of time, the feelings disappear. You are someone else.
Okay. 2 things. I love the feelings disappear. This is what I was talking about before. The feelings, not a particularly strong ending. Disappear. That hits. There's our emphasis, and before it, we get this gesture of things disappearing. That's a really great choice. And this shot, this is the shot I was talking about. You are someone else. There's an insecurity in that statement, but there is no insecurity in who his subject is. He's saying you. He's pointing at you. He's looking at you. And watch his hands.
You are someone else.
He's so still otherwise. But the shake. It tells its own story. And especially
You are
to be sitting amongst this decadence. They didn't choose that shot while he was at the piano or while it was just the open air behind him. They chose this shot, they chose this motion while he is surrounded by decadence. That counterpoint of successful life with age catching up. Ooh.
Disappear. You are someone else. I am still right here. I am still right.
This shot. This shot is magnificent. I am still right here amongst everything in this space. They could have chosen to do this shot where the previous shot, if there was nothing behind him except emptiness and he was pointing with a shaky hand, it would have been so uncertain. In this shot, I am still right here is a statement of I am the thing you're looking at. And yet he's fading in amongst food and art and presentation crockery and glassware and serveware and this elegant table with these beautiful chairs. And he's just a part of this whole. Yes, he's still right here, but where is here? He's kind of lost. If this one was against that white, yellow background, it would have been strong. But they've shot him in a place where if he wasn't in the center, if he was off to one side, you might miss him at first. Whoo! And I love that as he says, I am still right here, he's not saying that with defiance to the camera. He's saying it looking down. I am at this table. I am here. I am amongst my things. I am on this earth. I am with you. But he's not focusing on us in that moment.
Else, I am still right here. What have I become?
Oh, and this shot right here. Wow! To have this shot arranged the way it is. This is extraordinary. Now we have this splash of colour that's been creeping in. We had it when we saw the photograph earlier with the red shirt. Now we've got the red of the chair, which we'd got glimpses of in that shot a minute ago, where you could see the backs of the chairs, and of course all the food was coloured. Now these flowers are coloured. And what do you have centred around all of this colour? You have Johnny and June. And her blouse is brighter than anything he's wearing, so the eye is drawn to her. It's brighter than anything in the shot, actually. And I love that he is just singing this off into the distance, and she's there watching him from behind. What a powerful image this is. And underneath the photograph, which we already established earlier in the video. Lovely stuff.
What have I become?
Especially right after this has just been shown on screen as well. You see the youth here. Now we're seeing that achievement wall with the gold records, with these more statues, with these plaques, with this beautiful, elegantly framed photograph.
What have I become?
And we crash zoom into the photo and then crash zoom back out into them 40 years later, however long it is since that photograph. I don't know how old that photo is. This is powerful stuff. And oh, right.
My sweetest friend.
The emotion in her face, I'm tearing up now. The emotion in her face too, as she's reacting to him singing, what am I become? My sweetest friend. You can even see it there. The motions in her face, the subtle movements in her mouth. Oh, she's so expressive as well.
My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end.
This is powerful stuff. It really, really is. Oh my goodness.
Every
I love that as we're kind of tracing, I guess we're tracing his life. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I've I saw Walk the Line back in the day, but country music isn't as big in the UK, I don't think, as it is over here. And my grandparents, who I grew up with, were never big on Johnny Cash. So my introduction to him has been much more recent, mostly through my wife, actually. And so I don't know his story terribly well. It feels like, to me, as an outside viewer, that we are tracing his life through the shots that they're choosing to use of the past. And then replicating some of those thoughts with shots of him now. Is that right? Somebody let me know. I don't know if I'm off piece there. Maybe I'm barking up completely the wrong tree, but let me know.
everyone I know goes away in the end.
And there we have that piano starting up again, hard this time, and I think there's a tambourine or something hitting at the same time, or maybe it's just an old piano with a string. I'm not sure. But we start to get, it comes in much more insistently than it did before, and it's just going to get more so. And then he has this sort of angry look as he pours the wine.
You could have it all. My empire of dirt.
Oh, that's powerful, isn't it? Staring down the camera as he pours wine all over the table. And as he says, my empire of dirt, we see yet more achievements.
I will let you down. I will make you hurt.
These cuts right here are extraordinary. The views we're getting of his work, my goodness.
I will make you hurt.
And cutting between his film, that I can't remember the name of the film, where we see Jesus being nailed to the cross. He was the narrator in that, I believe. That's one thing I did see. And yet we're also cutting to, I assume this is concert footage. What a contrast. And then we cut to this. Again, how much emotion can you get in one shot? My goodness.
If I could start again.
And how insistent and intense and almost irritating, and I mean that in the best possible way, is that piano note, that intensity of the guitar, everything building, building, building.
If I could start again, a million miles away, I would keep myself.
This is almost overwhelming. We're seeing so much flashing at us in a short space of time. And one thing it does is it serves to say, hey, look how much this man achieved in his life. And one thing it does is to completely disorient the viewer. You don't know what's going on. There's no continuity to this anymore. We're cutting from present to past to, more recent past, all over the place. And you can't keep up with it. Your mind can't track what's going on. It's all happening too quickly. What a choice.
I would keep myself. I would find a way.
And it barely slows down.
Self,
Two, that.
I would find a way.
And it's only on the D of find that we really get a discernible slowdown, because that's the point where he hits the D on the fourth beat of that bar instead of leaving the four and is find a way. I'm not 100% sure what the rhythm was from earlier, but it was coming in, way was on the downbeat, and we're giving it that complete break now. That's not what we're doing. Everything has just stopped, and it just stops dead. That's, wow. Abrupt endings don't always work. This is masterful.
I would find a way.
And we're leaving it there.
Myself,
And it sounds like, I think that's a cello in the background. As he says the D going into the A of away, it sounds like there's a cello playing there. I'm not 100% sure. It might just be the way that the sound is fading. But just the choice to fade out over that, I would find a way. And then the away stands alone a little bit.
Way.
And then we choose the sound fades, and then as the sound fades, we then fade the light on young Johnny. And it could have ended on that shot. They could have faded to black right there, but they come back to this. And we get that moment, and it looks like it's going to be sad for a moment. And it is, as his head droops. But then you see him close the lid of the piano and just show that reverence. Just brushing over the lid of the piano once more. And here's a master stroke of this as well. The lighting is... Look at how much the lighting is revealing the wrinkles on his hands. That, I think, almost more than anything shows the age in this. You know, as a guitarist and as a pianist and what have you, he used his hands all the time. And sure, he sang as well. But to imagine these hands right now doing everything he used to do when he was younger, that sets that at odds so much. That... Wow. That hits no less hard the second time through. What an astonishing video. Totally understand why everybody recommended it. Thank you for doing so. I should actually take a moment and offer some thanks, I think. Because I'm pretty sure I have quite a few people who recommended this. I may have written one or two of them down. Did I? I did. Marianne Anderson, BJ Speck, and Ellen Reiser were three of the people who recognized it. There's plenty more than that. Wow. That's mind-blowingly good. Just astonishing. Just astonishing. Yeah. I'm going to go and listen to that a few more times. Whew. Thank you, everybody, for watching this with me. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I was able to bring you some perspective of the song. If you hadn't, some moment of cinematography you hadn't caught, or a thought in the music. That's what I'm here for. I'd love to be able to, every time somebody leaves me a comment and just says, "Oh my goodness, now I understand why I love this song," or "I'd never spotted this moment. I've heard this song 1,000 times and I'd never picked up on that. Thank you." That means so much to me, because that's what I'm really trying to do here, is bring those moments to people. So, yeah, thank you for watching this. Sorry, this one's a lot. Thank you very much for watching this with me. I hope that you enjoyed my video as well. If you haven't seen the original, I should have said this before, please do check it out. It's linked in the description below. Yeah. Sorry, I've been a little bit kind of awash in this one. This was extraordinary. I hope that this was still as good as my usual work. Please do like the video if you enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button. Use the notification bell to decide on your own notifications. And if you would care to, please do head over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts or patreon.com/DavidKReacts, where you can support the channel if you would care to do so. That's going to be it for this one. I'll be back with another video next week. I can English. Yeah, but until then, have an absolutely wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. 3:27 a.m. Goodness, if you're watching then, well, actually, to be fair, you have my sleep schedule. But if you're watching there, that's late. Do take care. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Oh, and happy 100 videos. There's a fair few people I know who'll be watching this who've been with me since the very first one, so thank you. And here's to the next 100. All right, look after yourselves. Bye for now.